Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unlocking Minds on Autism by Ronkymore. Today, I'll be talking on the signs and symptoms of autism spectrum disorder. What is autism spectrum disorder? This is a condition related to brain development that impacts how a person perceives and socializes with others, causing problems in social interactions and communication. The disorder also includes limited and repetitive patterns of behavior. The term spectrum in autism spectrum disorder refers to the range of symptoms and severity. In other words, there are no two people with the same signs and symptoms. So whatever sign you see in child A may be different from child B. Autism spectrum disorder begins in early childhood. Often, children show symptoms of autism within the first year of life. But a small number of children appear to develop normally in the first year and then go through a period of regression between 18 and 24 months of age when they develop autism symptoms. And that was exactly what happened to Daniel. Daniel was growing well, hit his milestones, until it began to regress. Please check my previous video on how I found out, about his diagnosis. While there's no cure for autism, intensive and early treatment can make a big difference in the lives of many children. Early treatment like seeking early intervention services and as well outpatient services for your child. So I will be going into some of the signs and symptoms that you may notice in your child. When you see that your child fails to respond to his or her name or appears not to hear you at times, I remember with Daniel, when you call him so many times, he feels like he was ignoring me. He wouldn't respond. Another sign to look out for is when your child resists cuddling and holding and seems to prefer playing alone, retreating into his or her own world. So in other words, engaging in self-directed play, where a child just want to be left alone, will move to a corner to play with his or her iPad or with toys, does not want to interact with siblings or with family members. Another sign you need to look out for is if your child has poor eye contact and lacks facial expressions. So when your child is not making eye contact with you when you talk to him or her, or not making facial expression like sad face, happy face, surprise face, you need to seek for help. Another sign is when your child doesn't speak or lose previous ability to say words or sentences, which is regression. Another sign that you also need to look out for is when your child can't initiate a conversation or keep one going, but all he or she can do is to make requests or label items. No conversation, no back and forth conversation between you. Another sign is when a child speaks with an abnormal tone or rhythm. or a robot-like, speech. Another sign could be when your child repeats words or phrases verbatim, but doesn't understand how to use them. So this is called echolalia. When you say to your child, "What is your name?" instead of the child responding to you, "My name is Ronkymore." But the child will say, "What is your name?" Another sign is when your child doesn't appear to understand simple questions or directions. When you say, "Go to the kitchen and get me a cup," but the child doesn't understand until you prompt him or her to what you ask them to do, then you need to seek for help. Another sign is when your child doesn't point at or bring objects to share interest. They don't bring things to you and say, "Mommy, look." They don't point at objects. They just want to bring you to something and then whine or cry. Another sign that you need to look out for is having difficulties recognizing nonverbal cues, such as interpreting other people's facial expressions, body postures, or tone of voice. When you go out and you see your parent winking or trying to nudge you not to say something or do something, they don't understand that. They don't. Another sign to look out for is when your child performs a repetitive movement, such as rocking in their chair. They're constantly rocking back and forth. They are spinning and flapping. They are usually excited when they are flapping their hands. That's a sign to look out for. When a child performs, activities that could cause self-harm, such as biting or head banging when they're upset, or generally engaging in self-injurious behavior, that could be a sign. Another sign is when a child develops specific routines or ritual and becomes disturbed or upset at the slightest change. They do not like to change. They like when you start a routine, they want to follow that routine. Another sign could be when the child has problems with coordination or has odd movement patterns, such as tippy-toeing, clumsiness, or stiff or exaggerated body. So they do not understand the concept of space. They're constantly bumping into things, walking on their tippy toes. They're generally clumsy. Another sign is also that they are fascinated by details of an object, such as spinning wheels of a car. They will bring a car close to their face and spin it so many times with so much focus and attention. That is a sign. Another sign is they are unusually sensitive to light, sound, or touch, yet may be indifferent to pain or temperature. So with this, Daniel, I found out that before the diagnosis, it was very sensitive to sounds. So the sound of the blender or the vacuum, he will literally cover his ears because he didn't want to hear those sounds. And also with lights, when we turn on the lights, Daniel will do this. They are unusually sensitive to light and sound. Another sign is that they do not engage in imitative or make-believe play, like putting a baby doll to sleep or feeding the baby doll or any kind of make-believe play. They do not engage in it. Another sign is they have specific food preferences, such as only a few foods or refusing some foods with certain textures. Like with Daniel, he wouldn't eat my local food. He would prefer to eat chicken nuggets and his milk all day. He does not even want to try any new food until I started him with the gluten-free, casein-free diet, and things changed and turned around, and now is a good eater. Please check with your doctor before you try anything I am sharing on this video. And now, if you're concerned about your child's development, or you suspect that your child may have an autism spectrum disorder, discuss your concern, with your doctor. Or if you see that your child does not respond with a smile or happy expression by 6 months, or your child does not mimic sounds or facial expression by 9 months, or maybe your child does not babble or coo by 12 months, or your child does not gesture or point or wave by 14 months, or your child does not say single words by about 16, 17 months, or maybe your child does not even engage in make-believe or pretend play by 18 months, or doesn't say 2-word phrases by 24 months. And lastly, or your child lose language skills or social skills at any age, please seek for help. Talk to your pediatrician. And most times, as a parent, when you have that instinct, like something changed, or you are noticing some changes in your child, sometimes it's true. So what I tell my clients is to talk to their pediatrician first. And if they say, oh, your child is fine, then that is fine. But I would recommend that you seek help as soon as possible. You seek help, early treatment, outpatient services, which I will discuss in my future videos. And please talk to your family member, anyone around you that have little children, just share. Maybe they can be of help. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in my next video.